everybody. Okay, this is day 5. We made it to day 5. Hope you're all doing great. On day 5 video, this is where, remember, our 3 levels of government. Now, each, they wanted to make sure that the branches are represented in the levels, of course, to run our government, okay? So, when you get to your packet, after your awesome flashback, it will talk about the 3 branches of government and how they're represented. And so let's start. So the legislative branch is going to be represented in each level. So it's going to be represented in the national level, the state level, and the local level. And you're going to take your envelope. This is what the envelope is for day 5. And you're going to cut these out and you're going to practice putting who represents each branch in the proper places. Okay, so you'll get really good. So because next week we have a quiz, but we'll keep working on it. Okay, so let's just go over this really quick. And so on the legislative branch, remember, legislative branch makes and passes the law. Caught him. Okay, so makes and passes the laws. So in the national level, the legislative branch, so the people that make and pass the laws, is Congress. Now, when they were figuring out all this stuff, the states that have a big population said, we should have more representatives because we're bigger. And the littler states will say, hey, that's not fair. So they compromised. Remember our word we do for compromise? Both sides give up something. And so they compromised. And so in Congress, there's 2 houses. So the Senate is for the representation for the little states. So if the senators, each state, no matter their population, sends 2 senators up. So big Texas would send 2, and little Rhode Island would send 2. So that makes the little states happy. So then they have the House of Representatives. Now that branch and that house is based on a population. So the big states like Texas were going to have more House of Representatives than the little states like Rhode Island. And so the House of Representatives and the Senate and the national government make and pass the laws. So Congress makes up of 2 houses, the House of Representatives and the Senate. Now, so that's in the national. So in the state, you have the state Congress. So same thing, you have a state Senate and the state House of Representatives. And then the local, they have a group making their laws for their town, and it's called a city council. So let's go again. National would be the Congress. There'd be the senators and the House of Representatives. They're making laws and making and passing laws. And the Senate would be the state Congress, which is made up of the state House of Representatives and the state Senate. And then you have the local, which is the city council. And they all make and pass the laws. Okay, so that's the legislative branch. So then we have the executive branch. Remember the executive branch. Enforces and carries out the laws. Okay? And so in the national government, the level that's over the whole United States, that would be the president. So our president, Donald Trump, he is in the national level in the executive branch. So in the state, every state has a governor. And their governor, like our governor, Beshear, is in charge of their state executive branch. Okay? Then you have the local. And the local has the mayor. In Brooksville, we have Mayor Hester. And he is in charge of Brooksville, our local government. So, national is president. So, in the executive branch, national is president, state is governor, and local would be our mayor. So that's who you, when you cut and paste your things, that's where you would put them. And there's a nice chart for you to refer back to too. Now, in our judicial branch. So if you look at the word judicial, it has J-U-D in it, like judge. Judicial branch is full of judges. So they'll interpret, remember our funny language, bloop, 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 whatever you want, and then interprets, explains the meaning of laws. So think about a judge. If which I wouldn't do this, if I was speeding and I went before the court and he says, listen, the law says you have to go 55 on the AA and you were clocked at going 56, right, for me. Let's say you were clocked at going over, he would explain why that is breaking the law. So, in the national level, the national level of the whole country, the Supreme Court, the 9 Supreme Court justices. They're in charge of the judicial branch at the national level. So the Supreme Court, the highest court in the land. Then you have the state Supreme Court in the state government. So the state will have a Supreme Court. And in the local, you'll have district courts. So like our judicial center uptown in Brooksville, that's our district courts. That's our judicial, that's our local level. Okay? So judicial branch. National is a Supreme Court. State is the state Supreme Court. And local is our district courts. All those courts are represented in all the levels for that judicial branch. Okay? Now, we're just going to keep practicing that. You're going to keep, when you cut these out, you'll put them in each level here where they go. Mix them up and try it again. Use a chart for a while. And then go back and try to do it by memory, and you'll get this, okay? So then be able to answer questions like if somebody said, who represents the executive branch at the national level? And you'll be like, me, 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 me. And it is the president. Be able to say if somebody said, hey, who represents the judicial branch at the state level? You'll be like, me, 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 state Supreme Court. So be able to answer those questions. You can get your parents, your brothers and sisters to ask you questions. And so we'll get this down. If you need any help, please let me know. Take care of you. See ya, miss ya.